Alright guys, welcome back. It's been a while, we have been on a holiday and we had to fix things behind the scenes. There's a lot of maintenance going on in my area, so I cannot consistently stream unless that is solved, but we're working behind the scenes and we're preparing for interviews very soon. But yeah, let's get into content. Today we're going to focus on NEXTJS. We have a custom front-end design that we're gonna do for FRAMER to NEXTJS, and we're also gonna focus on FRAMER. And later on in the day, we're gonna focus on vocabulary, languages, and not a lot after that. And the reason why is we have to rest because all week they're gonna drill again. My neighbors are renovating, so yeah, let's get into it. Let's not waste any time. All right, so let me see. And let's open with VS Code. And let's start the stream. Terminal. And that. Localhost 3000. Good. Localhost 3000. Oh yeah, I remember that. So, that's not gonna be this screen. Another screen. Open screen ready. Alright. Good. So. How's this token? Okay. Why are they so huge when I specifically said that they're not gonna be that huge? I'm not too happy about that. What's going on? Okay. What if I do? Wait. Aha. I see. And that is on the SVG as well. I specify that here. Why is it not working? Let's see what happens here. Aha. So it's because of the initial load. Okay. Now we know. So we have to think about how we gonna make them different colors, and I'll show you why. So I'm gonna do it here. I'm gonna do it here. Microsoft Whiteboard. And please don't re-log in. We have them here in black. And I saw them somewhere in purple, and that's here. So I want to see if we go into page. What's going on? Oh, we have property children. Okay. Let's get into here. Let's get into socials, and let's do children like that. Okay, and let's go back to page. Socials. Then I want to have a class name, and I want to do PG purple 300. What happens? Okay, because that's PG. How about let me think about it, because it's an SVG. What is a good way to fill them? It's with color, but we don't have a color property in. No, we do not have a color property. That's a good one. Let me think about it. So, how to fill in color with devices open? How to fill in color with SVG in another component that has a class name. Let's see. We can do fill. I am using Turin, so let's see. Okay, so they're basically saying that I can use text. I don't believe it, but we'll see. So let's get into here. Text red, text purple. Let's see if it holds true. I don't think so. No. Why not? Class name icon. Like icon. SVG. Definitely not. Okay, so we're gonna do it the other way, and the other way is not how I like it, but how about now? Is the audio still low? Because that's not good. Better? Yeah, I don't want to do it too loud, because if we do it too loud, then I'm just basically screaming. So you have to tell me if it can a bit, I can put it a bit higher. So better? Okay. I just want to see if I do text purple 500, what will happen? Okay, nothing. Good. Good to know. Right, so it's really an SVG issue. What if I do it here? Text purple 500. I'm just trying to figure out, right? Because I want to make it reusable. Okay, so text isn't definitely not working. Alright. Thank you for letting me know. How have you been? Everything okay? Let me see. Let me see. Ah, obviously. Fill current color. So let's try that. So we're gonna enter a fill current color, and let's see then. Oh, that immediately worked. That's good to know. Yeah, we just did some prayers before the stream, Douglas, and we just start, right? We pray before we eat. We pray before we do this. We basically pray for everything, right? So, how's the I think it was this Tuesday you were going to help your friend that was leaving, and you're gonna help him in the restaurant. How's that going? All right. So now we know that it works. It should work for all. Good. Now then we don't have to apply this. Let me see. Yeah, it's a Sunday here, and we'll still show up. And the reason why is like I'm doing my own work, right? Like if it's someone else's work, because I am in a different religion, we don't usually do on Sunday, but I do my own things on Sunday. That's the difference. So, all right. So let's see what we need to do here. Because the nav is hidden changes when it's small. Let me see why that is. We can actually fill everything in. Let's do that. Let's do all those things. All right. So, give me a second. I have to use a standard method. Let's see what I have in my library. Yeah, so how's the restaurant stuff going? Are you enjoying it? We did the fonts, we did the UI, pressing buttons, we did the UI, we did the types, buttons. Yeah, we did the types, UI. It's time for the real components. All right, good to know. So this is what I'm going to do. It's a bit of a challenge, but I've been keeping me more in line with my daily structure because I feel more responsible rather than if the restaurant was my own. Another positive I'm finally been learning how to cook. Alright, so you're a manager and also you have to cook. That goes hand in hand. That's good. Like you're helping out, right? And cooking is good because you know, takeaway and those kinds of stuff are really expensive. So um, you'll also save some money, right? All right, let me fill in. This is a let me. So this is a basic component that I use for all my components. This is a skeleton, I should say. Skeleton that I use from all my components. See below. Alright. I want to make more components exactly like this. Make sure to include the type as well, and then I have, can you make component for hero about classes video testimonials CTA pricing footer sitemap TSX. Okay, let's see what it generates. Okay, it uses interfaces, but that's not a huge issue. All right. Let me see. So this was a bit off screen, but you're now going to show. I'm going to show a lot of things on the screen. So basically, we're going to make a hero TSX, and we're going to copy what I have here. Import React from React, hero props. Okay. All right. And we're going to delete both of the props. And it's using an interface. I want to use type because I want to be consistent. Children class name. It imported the class hero, but we're not going to use it in hero. So we basically have this. All right. Why is this put in the UI? I did not say that you should do that. So let me put it here. So annoying. Okay. Yeah, just make sure to pray every day. You know, things will be fine. It's a big part of life, in my opinion. So we have a problem here, and it seems to be hard to move. I'm not sure why that is. It's in components, and then if we close everything, oh, I see. Okay, So we have nothing in UI, while all these should be in UI. Okay. So we have that issue that, should I fix it now? Yes. Let's fix it now. It's gonna give some errors. Yes, update imports. Yes. Okay, I'm happy that it's doing that, but I do not have to fix imports. Socials. Move. Yes. Actually, this should be in SVG. Move. Fix imports. Yes. Alright, so we're gonna close all these ones. Now then. Yeah. We should fix it right away, right? Filter compile. Components social.tsx. Yeah, and that is because the import is not correct here. Components SVG. Oh, it is correct here, so it should. NEXTJS flex-full components social tsx. Why are you reading from that? Because you say that you do not read from that. Layout. Let's check socials. Socials. Is there a problem here? Okay. That should work. And maybe I should re-import that. Let me do that. Socials. Okay. Good. That's working. Now let's see if the hero is working. Hero. Last name is good. Good dot. Okay. Hero. What's the problem? It's not imported. Cannot find name hero. Okay. No problem. No worries. How about that? What's the issue? Has no default exports. Ah, I see. Export default. Yeah, let's do that differently. Export default hero. Like that. And it's not complaining anymore. Good. So we're gonna do the exact same for all the other ones. So I have to fix, make sure they are export default on each of them, and children should also be optional, and interface should be type. Okay, let me see if they all right, that looks good. So let's import all the other stuff. So about tsx, and then you see import this one about. Alright, I don't want to have props here, so I'm gonna do about, just like that. And let me open it. Let me import it at the same time. No complaint. Quick fix. Alright. So we can delete all of these ones. And then the next one is called classes. Okay. So I'm gonna make a new component. Not a new map, component called classes. Classes props. Right here. Classes. And later on we're gonna export the types. We're not gonna do that right now. Gonna first video, export default video. I'm gonna call it video banner. This video is too generic. Video banner .tsx. Video banner. Good. It's consistent. Alright. Let me check page just in case. So we have classes. So we can copy this and paste this. Classes. And we're gonna import that also. Great. And then we're gonna do the same for video banner, and also that's fixed. Let me get into the next one. The next one is testimonials. So copy that. And then not here. Testimonials. TSX. Alright. Good. Let's import that. Oh, not that. This one. This is going to be a bit boring, but after this, testimonials, after this, we're gonna fill in the content, and then it becomes interesting. So, all right, CTA. It's usually the boring stuff in the beginning, right? And I decided to not code everything from scratch anymore, and the reason why is I'm already fluent in this, so I don't see any reason why to do that, because I can save time when I generate a lot of my content. So that's why. People might complain later about that I don't type anything myself, but yeah, I don't care, to be honest. I care about making money, and I don't care about who wrote it or not. So let me see. This was called pricing. So let me do pricing. TSX. Alright. Pricing. Also import that here. Pricing. Class name. Close that off. Awesome. And then we have the footer and the sitemap. So we're almost done. Two more. So let's do footer. TSX. You know, I'm doing all this stuff. Usually when when you're gonna follow a tutorial, what's gonna happen is it looks like it's already been done and it all looks really fast, but the time it makes the tutorial takes 3 to 4 times longer than actually recording the videos. So this is the real work, guys. This is how it looks. It's boring. Nah, it's not that boring, but you can see the work, right? And we have the sitemap. Okay, sitemap. So the last component, probably for today, is sitemap. I think it's called this way. Let me just double check. No, it's with lowercase m. Lowercase m. Alright, sitemap. Alright, and let's do the props. Alright, and then I'm gonna import it here. I'm gonna do sitemap, and then class name, and then we're gonna close this off. Good. So now we imported all the layouts, so I will show you. So all the layouts from this is what we made, and now we just have to fill in the stuff, and things are gonna look really fast suddenly. So let me make sure that we did everything. Okay, so this one, good, good. Did this one, all right, and we did this one. Did we do the navigation? Did we got about the navigation? Yes, we did. Okay, so let's make the navigation page then. Nav. 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 Alright, so and then we're gonna include it in the page. It's called nav. Class name. Close it off. Good. Sometimes, yeah, so it's like when you're working in a restaurant, right? And sometimes restaurants have pre-cooked things, or they get things delivered, such as cut vegetables. They get those things delivered. Maybe it's like broccoli or cauliflower, just naming some things. If you have to cut them all by yourself, it will, for the whole day, it probably will take an hour. While if you spend a little bit more money, or you outsource it a little bit, it might save some time. So so that's why it's important. Right, so we had that, we had the navigation. Now we have the hero, we have the about, we have the classes, and then all right. Okay, this seems to have been a margin here. And it's the same here. So the margin is small here and large here. So all right. So let's fill in some things, right? Let's start with the nav. I don't like start with a nav. Nav is always annoying to start. Let's start with a hero. Let me close that off. But let's start with the hero. And on the hero, we have a flex, we have use client, and we have an H1. I did not fill this entirely, but that's okay. So on H1, a P, a button. Okay, so let's fill it in. Yeah, it's gonna complain. It's okay. So what we're gonna do, put that here. Okay. What we're gonna do an H1. Yeah, it's gonna complain, obviously. It cannot find H1. Okay. That's a bit weird because I have a maybe I called it different. Let me just check. I call it heading. Okay, good thing. Heading, fonts heading. We're gonna do it like this, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill in the type. So it's discover, balance, strength, and peace. Okay, so discover, balance, comma. Let's do in BR. People are against BRs. I am not. So strength, balance, strength. Is a comma? Strength, yes. And now we have a different typing. I'm not sure how I did it, so I'm gonna check. Okay. What we're gonna do it a bit of a different way, which is not recommended, but it's a solution for now. Maybe I can do this. Heading, and then I can say italic. What's the problem? Public child is missing. Yeah. So and okay, peace. Let's see how that looks. All right. It seems like that this one is not light enough. So let's go into heading. Yeah, we need the boring parts, Douglas. How have you been actually? Like how's life in Las Vegas? That's where you live, right? We're gonna go into heading, and it's font medium, but it's font light. Let's see how that looks. That's not the one I meant. Medium, light. Let's see how it looks. It's even 10. So let's do 10. 10. How about that? I don't know if it exists. I'm okay with this. So we have a bit of a issue here. So this is a div, and I'm gonna make it span. And let's see how it looks. Oh, perfect. That's how I like it. All right. Now we can go into hero, and then we're gonna enter a P, not that P. I think it's called body. Let me just check. Yeah, body. So body, fonts body. class name, so body, and that's gonna have journals in Oasis of Wellness. Let me open up FRAMER, maybe. No, I'm just gonna type it. It's okay. No, I don't feel like typing. Why? Why should I type? Is my microphone still working? Yes. Okay. So we go here. And we're gonna just copy, paste. Let's see how that looks. We're gonna go. Serene, well pad of, okay. Yeah, I did not make a flex yet, but that's gonna be soon. So let's open up the button. Let me see if it's actually called button. Button CTA, and I have button. Okay. So it's probably this one. Okay. Where's, yeah, I think it is. So let's go to hero. We're gonna do button. And then what we're gonna do, I said it's gonna have a class name and it's complaining about the child. So we have to get into this one and say save, and then go back to hero, and then get started. Is that correct? No, because it's the other one. So button CTA. Okay. So let me remove that one. Get started. Good. Are the spacing pretty great? No, they're not. But that's okay. We can do a gap. Okay, now it's time for the flex. So let's make that flex. And let's make that flex column so it stacks. Good. And let's create a max width. That's how I'm gonna do it. So max width, I'm gonna do 64 characters. Let me see how that looks. Definitely not. Okay, 100 characters. A bit too much. How about 80 characters? That looks how it should look. Alright, let's create a gap. So I'm gonna create a gap of, I don't know how that is. I'm gonna create a gap of 4. Okay, what is this? Update available later. Okay. I think the gaps are a little bit stronger. Or not. Maybe like gap 5. Not sure if it exists. Okay. How about that? We keep it at that, and it looks almost similar. Now we have to create this part, but I'm not gonna do that yet because it's a very niche kind of thing, because we were filling in the content. So now, because we did the hero, we have to go back to the page and we have to create all these boundaries. But we have to take in account that we have this banner here and this has to be filled in. So it's a bit tricky to do that. So one way to do that is we're gonna create a margin here and not here. So we can create a straight margin and we're gonna ignore it here. That's a way to do it. Let's do it that way, and if it doesn't work, we do it the other way. So it seems like it has a margin right of left of auto, and it has some margin. Okay, so let's do that. MX auto. That does not work. Let's do 4. Let's see how it looks. Definitely not. More like 12. Fine by me. Okay. And let me see, margin top. I want to have that on 4. Let's see how it looks. Fine by me. And we do not have a margin bottom, I see. Do the other ones have that? Yes, they do. So this is the only one that does not have a margin bottom. So that's very specific. Okay. So no bottom here. Are we going to import this already? Yeah, let's do that. And it's on the background of the contact and the if that is the case, then I have to import the navigation in the hero. So let's do that. But then we have to take this one into account. So let's just do this. And we're gonna solve that doing that. I'm gonna make a fragment and then import that. Import nav. Good. How does a nav look like? It has 3 separate components. And on a mobile, it has 1. But these 2 disappear. Yeah, these 2 disappear when it gets smaller. Okay, sure. So what we're gonna do first, we have to, I see a bug, so let's fix the bug first. How things with you in Holland? Oh, I'm slowly improving with my commitment to wear the parts and necessaries in order to achieve changes. I feel it need to be made, but it satisfies in a wholesome way. How about things in Holland? You've been trying to figure out to move in a more controlled area environment. How's that coming along so far? So yeah, because I lived here since March, there's 1 year of waiting time. I have a 1-year contract at least before I can leave. And that's why yeah, we have to wait. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna switch to a remote job, and then that basically gives me the power to live somewhere more rural. And yeah, the reason why I'm doing that, there's too much distraction. It's not about distraction that you only see on the street, but it's everywhere. It's people are, I'm not sure how it is in Las Vegas, but people are very annoying. To complete the lease agreement, yes. So my lease agreement is at least for 1 year, but it's a permanent contract. So this means I can lease indefinitely, but I have to lease at least for 1 year. Uh, see what's going on in here. I removed that. Why is it still here? Right, no worries. Aha. Two times M4. Page in a page and layout. Okay. Page. Okay. That is a bit weird. Like, I removed this. And then what it should do is move this one to the side. But it keeps having that app.layout.css. Yeah. Let's restart the app because that does not make sense. Let's that's not good. Let's localhost. So that's a bit strange. I removed the margin, but the margin still plots because there's a margin somewhere else. I know why. We have to be here. Problem solved. But then we do have to do a margin top of 2 at least. Yeah, good. The bug is fixed. Let's continue and let's make that top of 4. Let's make it actually margin Y 4. So it has both sides. Good. Now we can close the terminal. We can close this one and we can go back to Hero. Yeah, it's not only when you open your phone, it's Douglas, like not open your phone, it's if I would walk my dog right now, I will get cut off in traffic. People will scream at you. You will see weird people on the street just vomiting, like you know, because there's probably a lot of homeless people in Las Vegas, and I've nothing against homeless people, but it's hard to that for your brain to ignore, and in the morning you don't see those. I want to have a clear mind. the first thing what I want to do in a day is have my things done. That's the most important part. Like the rest, when there come certain emergencies or something, I'm like, okay, not a huge deal. But the first part, it's just mine. Because if all those things happen, I get cut off, I get screamed at, I see someone vomiting, I see some dogs attacking other dogs, I see all those noise, and then I come inside, I don't feel like doing this anymore. Some people, some people are not annoyed by that, but I am one of those guys. That is. Let's get into the navigation and let's fill it in. Nav. Alright. This is going to be interesting because it's going to have a flex and it's going to have three things. So the first thing is going to have a logo. So let's get into a div and we call it a logo. It's called logo nav. And what we do have to do now is see the SVG icon. Let's import this icon. What's the problem? Sitemap. Already included file. Sitemap, yeah. It complained out of nowhere. Oh, yeah, of course. I remember. Good. Let's go into icon. Icon makes sense. Then we can go into hero and we're gonna import the icon. And let's see what happens. Okay, the icon is here. Now we have to put in a span and we call it flex sol. Okay, and that creates a okay, and let's get some spacing on this one. So we're gonna put a class name here and we're gonna have margin left of 2. Let's see how it looks. All right, now we have a problem for the class name, so we have to make this like that, and we're gonna have to margin left of 2, margin left of 2, and we're gonna include the, let me see how I did that. We're gonna include the comma rent, class name. Cannot find name comma rent. That's annoying to import, to be fair. Alright, and let's fill in what it actually is. So let me do that. Let's go into, oh, it's a work sense. Okay, so let's do work sense. Work sense. And it is semi-bold, so font semi-bold. And the color is black, so font black maybe? No. Text black. Okay, now we have a leading of 25 pixels, and the size is 25. So text 25 pixels, and it has a letter spacing, so tracking of 0.04. Okay, so tracking 0.04 pixels. Let's see how it looks. Looks a bit too big for my liking. Why is that? Because it's a capital letter. You see? Like so. Oh, the icon is bigger. Okay. So we do class name. Not class name. I don't see that the icon has a type. So we're going to destructure class name, and okay, here, yeah, the value is never read. That's true. So here, class name. We're gonna do class name. It's gonna be a string. Okay. Why are you still complaining? Because of this one. Good. And let's go back to the hero and then we're gonna have a width of go to FRAMER. Excuse me. It says a width of 30. I do not believe that, but it seems so. Width of 30 pixels. Okay. Let's see. That did not work. Why not? Okay. Let me see. Okay, gotcha. Trust me, it's completely understand and annoyance. And it's really everywhere across all lively aspects. Claim my navigation, I love it. It even friendly takes not so pleasant toll. Yeah. I have nothing against those people that have not similar interest in me, but it's something else when they actually distract you. And yeah, I'm very careful in the first hours of my day. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Why is this icon not growing? Let me see if it grows here. 30 pixels. Okay, it's not growing because of that. Because I did this. Come on. Wait. 30 pixels. 50. Oh. Aha, I see. Okay. That's not good. How about here? Okay. We have a problem here. Why? What if I do it here? Let me see what happens. Just wanna. It's not growing. Why? Uh, okay. What I'm gonna do? There's something with the pad and filling. I'm not sure what it is. I'm gonna ask chat gibberish. Let me ask. What does it say? Okay. So let's try that. It says I also need to do a height of 50. This is normally not required, but height of 30 pixels. Let me see if that's the case. Okay. Well, now we know. So I needed to apply. I'm gonna make it a bit smaller. I think it's too big. Okay, and then let's remove the icon. Let's go on top. Class name makes sense. Okay, hero. Alright, so we have a relative problem for this one. So let's put relative and let's do the top of 4 pixels. How about 2 pixels? Alright. Like, I did not consider the boundaries yet, but we will soon. Because we did not apply any. Well, let's do it now actually. Let's do a margin of 4. No, you have to do it here obviously. The margin of 4. It actually gave me a bit larger margin of 6. I'm not sure if it exists. Let's see. Margin of 6. Yeah, but I want to have that on the Y. Good. Now then, it seems that the text is a bit. It's semi. Is this medium maybe? Is it medium? The tracking could be greater, so let's do 8. No, it really needs a medium, like semi. You see, semi bold. It's the thing is, the reason why you see this differently is because there's different browsers show different kind of width. So it's not a huge issue for now. We can always fix that later. All right, let's do this one about classes and pricing. So let's do that. So this was the logo in enough. So let's do this is nav menu, and it has 3 items. So let's make a UL li. Let's copy that 3 times. And then the first one says about classes pricing. Okay. About classes pricing. Let's see how it looks. Good. Does it also have some flex? And it has a gap of, I don't know, 4? Definitely bigger. Gap is 12. Don't know if it exists. It does. Okay. Well, while there is a margin left, where can I find it? Let's also do a margin right of 2. So we can say margin X of 2, which need more space, but for now it's okay. Let's also do relative, and we have a top of 2 pixels. Great. We're gonna fill in the width and the height, the styling soon. What is most important here is that these are also going to be wrapped in anchor tags. Oh, that's a bit annoying. So what we're going to do is this: LA A times 3. So this is an let's see if it works. All right. Let's do that. Oh, no, I did not do that right. Times 3. No, we should do that then. LI. Let me think about it. Oh yeah, okay, so we can do this. Times 3, good. What was it again? About classes pricing, so about, we can say about here. No, not like that. Classes, pricing. Before we continue, let me see if we have some constants here. No, we do not. I think it's a waste to put in constants. Just gonna leave it like that. All right, and we have a contact button. This means that if that is so, Then we have to wrap this inside of the div and wrap this in, put this inside of this div. And the reason why is because this is left nav. Right, div right nav. And that is a button, CTA. And it says contact. We're going to enter a class name and we're going to do the BG white. Let me actually see if it shows up. No, it does not. Let me see. And the reason why is because of this. So we have this on the background, so I'm gonna make it gray for now, so we know where it is. I want. So now we know where that is, and font regular. So that's not doing that. Why? Font normal. Good. So now we have two stuff going on. And this one is obviously way too huge. So it's going to be px of 24 pixels maybe. And py of 16 pixels. I'm just doing something for now. How about 12 pixels? Actually smaller. It's gonna be 8 pixels maybe? Nah, definitely 10. And also the font size is a bit smaller, so we do font like text. Let's do 14 pixels and see what happens. Okay, it looks very similar. Good, now let's fix the distance between. So this is going to be interesting. So items center justify between. Okay, and now we have this issue here. Let me see if that's because of this. No. I'm just gonna remove this one. Let me see what happens. Okay, that's not the issue. Alright, let's fix this and then we round it up for today. We're gonna do a FRAMER after this, because we also have to do the other stuff, right? Let's see what's going on. So we have this here. Menu. Aha. So I also have to do flex here. Okay. And now we have a distance problem. And that is here because it's pretty huge. Let me see how they did that. You can barely see it. Okay, here you see the gap. Gap 110 pixels. That's a lot. Gap 110 pixels. Let's see. Okay. I have to put this in a container, but I'm gonna do that next time. Let's look at that. Discovery. Yeah, we have to check out what this is about. So we're gonna go to FRAMER. We're gonna go here. And it's a heading 4. Are you sure about that? Okay. Alright, let's go to assets. And it says heading 16 regular. Okay. That's actually the smallest heading that we have. I think I made a section about this. So let's go to subsection heading, I think. So let's try that. We go into hero. And I don't think this is recommended, but we'll see what happens if I do this, and else see. Okay. I just want to see what happens. Yeah, that's definitely not. Oh, it does apply, so that's pretty good. But then we have a flex issue here, so then we have to do class name here and put this one here. Okay, good. And then because that is a something, subsection header, sub bold, sub body. Now let's do sub body. Okay. See what happens. Perfect. Do this. I think that does not look bad. That's fixed. Okay. Now let's put it in a container now because I'm not comfortable what's happening here. So let's go into Tailwind because we're using Tailwind. And let me see. You can put it in a flex and we can do this, and then we can do margin auto. So let's do that. Okay. Let's go to page. And then we have flex. And then want to have a max width of pixels. I think that's something. I should have put it in a Okay, and then items center. Oh no, there's space between. Oh, justify between. Yes, but justify center. See. How about that? I think it's gonna be a bit larger. Justify between, that's the first thing that we do. And then let's go to Tailwind again, and let's do 2 Excel. Okay. So what was that again? 1400. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay. Let's see what happens if I do this. Okay. No worries. I see we do not have any margin anymore. So I want to change the margin again. So on both sides, I want to have it like, I don't know, 12. Let's see what happens with 12. Okay, that is a bit of an issue. Okay. MX auto. We're gonna do some padding then. Padding x10. So yeah. Yeah. So padding x10 on large devices, and else I want to have a padding of 6 maybe. So let's see what happens. Yeah. Let's do 4 for now. Good. So that's the first section. It looks pretty similar. I still have to add this in. But the reason why we did the navigation and the hero section together, if I do not do that, I will have problems with this later on. So I decided to do the hero and the nav together. Yeah, that's yeah. Let's just import it already. So let's go into hero, and this was the nav heading, and let's import that one. But how, I do not know. I do know. So let's go here, and let's go to, no, not here. I had it somewhere in C. Let's go to this PC, and then go here, we go here, and let's see. All right. So save image as. Let's just open up the terminal and we go into application, we go into images, and let's see if we can find the image. Yeah, so this is the first one. So open a new tab and what is wise to do? So let's put this one and this one is going to be desktop, Excel, and it's going to be public, and this is going to be yoga header. Okay, great. So that's the first one. Let's go into the second one, which is some kind of, not sure which one it is. So that seems to be this one, and there's also a leaf on that side. So open a new tab, and then we go into public. Let's just make sure. Okay, yoga header, and then yoga header color. And then the other one is like a leaf or something. Let me see if I can find it. Obviously not. Let me see if I can select it somehow. No. Okay, header, div. Alright, div. Is this it? No. Okay, yeah, I see something. FRAMER background, image wrapper. Aha. So what's inside of here is an image. Did I pick the wrong image? Oh, okay. Well, that's also okay. So we're gonna yoga header background. Good. Now we have to go back and we have to delete at least one thing, and that is we went to the public folder. Let's close everything. Public folder, and we made a mistake. This is, what is this? Oh, it has no, yoga header background. Yes, I want to replace it. Why? Why is it not a? That's weird. I'm not sure what happened there, but yoga hero background. This can be gone. This one can also be gone. And let's make sure. Open with Firefox. Okay, that's the good one. Okay, yoga header. Alright, let's just import it. Let's see what happens. So we're gonna just do a div and we're gonna do background apps. So no, yoga PG. And what we're gonna do here is just import them. And we're gonna do background yoga, and that's gonna be public, and it's called yoga header. So let's go on top. I'm gonna import, and let's delete that one. I'm gonna do yoga header. Did I camel case that? No, we did not. Okay, module. We're gonna go to public, and then yoga header. And we're gonna do the same for the other one. So that's not gonna be yoga header. It's yoga header background, and then this is yoga hero background. And we have not used that yet. We're gonna have a stack issue, but that's okay. Source. Static data image is not assignable to type string. Okay. BG person. Let's see how to compile. Is not a valid image. The image may be corrupted or unsupported format. Okay. Let's see what happens if I just do this. And then what's going on? Okay. So one thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna ask ChatGPT for how to import WebP and AV files in NEXTJS. Let me see. Okay, so I need to use the image from NEXTJS. So import image from NEXTJS. So let's go into top. So Control G1 to go into top, and then what we're gonna do is image from NEXTJS image, and let's go into, I don't know, 50 or something. Yeah. Let me see. So we do have some properties. Let me see what the properties are. It's source, alt are the main ones. Let me see, just in case. Source, image, come on, source, source, alt. Okay. Let me see if that's right. Yeah, that's right. So we can just self-close this. So, right, and let's also do the other one, which is this one. Okay, let me see if it actually okay, so it does not support these types. That's a bit strange. I did not expect that. Let's go into the NEXTJS documentation and see if that's true. So let's go to image. Width, height, alt, let's go into source. When source is animated or not in known format, JPEG, PNG of it, the image will be served as is. Statically imported. What does that mean? Very strange. That's what I'm not gonna do. Let's see if another image works. Maybe it's another issue. And then we're gonna close that off. So let's go here and let's do that. And let's just do image. And let's do source. And let's do alt. Okay. And then we need to have an image, obviously. Let's go into public. We have another image or something? Yeah. We have this one. So this is an SVG. I hit paste. Why is it not pasting? Okay. Public, like so. What's the problem? Cannot find module. Oh, the module is there. Maybe no. Okay. Public, and then okay. Let's see if it imports. It does not show. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Let's see, because I saw something in my documentation about SVGs. So let's check that. Let's go back, and it says something about SVGs. Dangerously allowed. Danger. Oh my god. Okay. Let's go here. Dangerously allowed. It's not assignable. I think it is. It says in the documentation, right? Oh, okay. I have to go into next config to do that. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Okay. So we go into next config, and then how does it do that? Images. Okay. Let's do module export. There is no module export. So. Why are you complaining so much? How about that? Dangerously allowed SVG. Does not allow it. and actually it changes the entire stuff. That's not good. Okay, let's go back. Okay, you have done that. We do not currently have a PNG, so let's just put it in this way for now, and then I'm gonna set it to do. So to do PNG image tests, and then we can close this off today. Good. Now let's forget about the flex sol for now, and what we're gonna do like that, and we're gonna go back into Framer, and we were here with the tutorial. So let's get the tutorial going. All right, here, Framer.
Learn how to build. Going to that really can and we're gonna turn that into a layout. Use a max width paired with fill, plain text.
I'm not sure where I left off. I think here.
In Framer.
Yeah.
Animations are
so yeah, we're kind of here. So sure. Let me put on my headset, else I will hear nothing. All right.
extremely common for a lot of websites. You see a lot of text animation that appears using fade in or slide.
I'm gonna turn the music off.
And it's
So
visually pleasing. Now to create that in Framer is actually really simple. You're going to find individual elements in the front of your UI. So for example, we have the button, title, text, call to action, and on top of that, we can synchronize with the rest of.
So Douglas, it was a pretty hard work. We have 1 hour and 50 minutes left, so a lot of work to be done. We're gonna follow the tutorial of Framer, and the reason why we're gonna use Framer because later on in my journey, because it's a 7-year journey, we're gonna make a lot of websites for clients, and I'm gonna make a lot of templates that I'm gonna sell, and that's why. Obviously, this template here, it looks cool, but no one really wants this. It's only for show off.
And in this case, we have 4 more elements, including the main UI, the progress ring, and the main card. So we're going to select all of them. Let's go to quickly with which is the main UI. So because I have everything set up properly in the past with adaptive layout, now I have going to go to effects, scroll transform, then I'll set to layer in view. I'm pasting the entire section and I work with a different resolution. I think it would be a good idea to change my default resolution for desktop to 1440. And I'm gonna just move that a little bit to make it cleaner. Keep in mind that you can always go back to the Framer template and then find the start for steps. And these are already copy and paste from Figma. So back to our project, I'm going to deal with the UI issues.
Do later is when we finish this tutorial, we are going to make our website where we're going to sell stuff, and that's going to be a bit complicated because I also need to learn design at the same time, because like I said, I am not going to build anything from scratch anymore because I already know how it works. Like I showed you how it works, and I don't see why I should do something from scratch. The only reason why I do something from scratch is I would make a tutorial, which I do not plan to do.
A little bit later. For now, let's focus on the scroll animation. Let's start with a very simple scroll animation in the steps section. So I'm going to select the content in steps, and then I'm going to go to effects to add one for scroll animation. This is already set to layer in view, which is great because I don't want it to activate when it appears or when I start scrolling. I only want it to activate when I scroll and then it reaches to a point when this is visible in my browser. So I'm going to go to enter, then I'm going to set the opacity to 1, scale to 1, rotate 3D using the X value to 10, and then the offset to minus 100. For the transition, I'm going to change to ease in out, and I'm going to set the time to 1. So now I'm going to preview, and you can see that the animation is only going to apply when I scroll to the element. Now let's open the flight UI, and here inside UI, I'm going to select the pair to the steps that we have here. To fix this cutoff, we're going to go to overflow, visible. We're going to make every section to be a stack. So right now it's using constraint.
I feel I already know this because we did Webflow before. So we're gonna skip a bit and see where we at.
With resizing using a perfect square. Another shortcut that I find useful is option L to minimize every single element, and it's going to keep your layers panel. What matters is the height of the section, which is the parent container of the content that is sticky. So let me select the steps, and then I'm going to go to height, then set to 2000. As a result, it's going to align it to the center, and instead, I'm going to go to align and set it to the top. Again, these icons are really crucial to understanding alignment, and then Command K, and I'm going to create a component. Let's name, and at the bottom, it's going to activate the third one. Again, feel free to play with that alignment, making sure.
Well, it seems like let me follow this part with the 3D one.
And we also have a variant that responds to the scroll section, and we managed to make it work for mobile as well. In the next section, I want to show you how to add that beautiful earth and interactive stars in the background, along with a 3D embed from Spline. It's going to look really cool, so I'll see you in the next section. We're going to learn how to add an awesome earth background with these interactive stars and also with a custom cursor. Now this earth is interactive. It's part of Framer Supply, which means that it's free to use,
Okay.
and you just need to copy the component. And on top of that, we're going to learn how to embed a 3D asset from Spline. So this is also fully interactive and absolutely beautiful. So let's get started.
So let's just see how he imports it and makes it interactive. And I think that's gonna be it for Framer because I feel that I know the rest. But let's see.
This is our steps section where we have the scroll variants, and we have quite an empty space here where we can put beautiful backgrounds that are interactive. And thanks to Framer, it's going to be really easy to do so. So the first one that we're going to add is from Framer Supply, and it's the globe. It's really popular, customizable, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to copy this and go back to Framer. Now in the steps in desktop, I'm going to paste that. Let me zoom in, and at the beginning, it's very small. So I'm going to change that to 800 by 800. Let me set the constraint. So I'm going to center vertically, and also I'm going to align right, which is going to automatically set my constraints. So right 0, and then I'm going to go to the globe, and I'm going to customize it. First of all, you can make the backdrop completely transparent. It's going to make it look better with any background. Now I want my globe to have a little bit more opacity.
Was backdrop.
Completely transparent. Height 0, and then I'm going to go to the globe and I'm going to customize it. First of all, you can make the backdrop completely transparent. It's going
He did not explain that, but let's continue.
to make it look better with any background. Now I want my globe to have a little bit more opacity, so 0.5. And then I'm going to change the glow to be using roughly a dark blue. Also, with this globe, I have so many options that I'm not going to play with all of them, but you can play with the positioning, with the diffusion, and also the amount of sample. In this case, I actually want to put it to the maximum, and I think it looks really good like this. Let me adjust the diffuse to 5 as well, and then we're ready to add the particles. So let's go back to Framer Supply, and then we're gonna scroll down to the particles and copy it. It's not obvious right now, but you can use stars instead of rainbows. So let me copy this inside the background, just like the globe. Then I'm gonna go to vertical alignment, set to a width of 100% and a height of 1000. Now this is where I'm gonna go to the particles and I'm going to set my background to black 0%. Then for the size, I'll set it to 0.5. Now we have something. Again, you can customize so much more.
Basically, he copied rainbows and got stars. I mean, I don't know how that happened, so let me verify that. So let's go into Framer, and then let's go into Framer Supply, because he did some magic there, right? He did some magic. That is not the Framer Supply that I was looking for. Okay. Show me the magic. Oh, so I get stars. Let me align here, and let me do just like he did, 100%, and then 1000%. Right? Well, let's do, how about 200%? It's not, my template is not that big, so let's do something like 120, and let's do it here. Backdrop 0. Okay, let's see how it looks. Aha, so it automatically works. It's just a component. Magic, guys. Oh,
In terms of density, opacity, and so on. And that's it. Thanks to the power of components, I have a really beautiful background that goes really nicely with the globe. Now, because the globe is roughly a dark blue, now you can also add custom cursors. So let's select the globe. As I mentioned, the globe already has a web cursor.
okay. Is that true? Does this also have a cursor, web cursor? How did he do that? Styles. Okay, let's go to styles, right? Particles, styles. This does not have a cursor. Maybe pointer event? No, absolutely not. Draggable. Okay, so it's only the globe that has that.
when you drag. But I can add a custom cursor next to it. So let me click on custom cursor, and here it's going to ask for a component, which means that I can use the button, for example, and I can select which variant it's using, and I can also make it follow instead of replacing. So let's do that. With this option, you have the positioning, the alignment, and the offset. As you test your website, you can see that when I move and then when I go to the globe, it shows the component that is moving on top of the cursor that comes with the globe. So
Sure.
this is pretty cool. And of course, we can change to any component that we want.
Magic.
So let me create a component real quick for my cursor. And I'm gonna copy this one. We have this awesome cursor, which comes from the component that we just created. It's no secret that Spline is one of my favorite tools. It's easy to use and it reminds me of Figma. You can create really awesome backgrounds with it. They have a community with amazing files that you can use for your project as part of the background of your website. To use this Spline background, it's really simple. You can remix any file or take any 3D from the library, create your own, or start from scratch. Now, the one that I'm going to use is in the community. You can search for it using particles, and it's
So
this one.
did you just skip again from?
And I can also make it follow instead of replacing. So let's do that. With this option comes with the globe. So this is pretty cool. And of course, where in the UI we have this awesome cursor, which comes from the component that we just created. It's no
Oh,
secret that Spline is one of my favorite tools. It's easy to use and it reminds me of Figma. You can create really awesome.
so he just went from, hey man, I will call him the jumper now. He is called the jumper. So he basically like, hey man, let's just go into Framer and just go into Spline and then
backgrounds with it.
copy paste.
They have a community with amazing files that you can use for your project.
Let me see if this is inside of Framer because he acts like it is. Spline. No. Community tab. Let's go into Spline. Post commas. Okay, so he went from, hey man, we just made a cursor all the way to, I am logged in with Spline right now. Because Spline, I know what Spline is by accident. Spline 3D, right? This is Spline. See if it works. What's his name? His name is Meng2 Jumper. Let me see if it works. Alright, so you have physics, and then basically what you can do, I think, you can drive or anything like that. Oh, sign up and edit this file. Okay, sure. I mean, it's cool and all, but we're not gonna use Spline now.
As part of the background of your website.
Maybe if he has like a 100% discount, then I'm interested.
To use this Spline background, it's really simple. You can remix any file or take any 3D from the library, create your own, or start from scratch. Now, the one that I'm gonna use is in the community. You can search for it using particles, and it's this one created by Jeff and Sam. And then you can just remix it. This is gonna go to your files. Once you're inside the 3D file, you can play to see how it looks like as a background. And then once you're done, you can export using your own
Link to the jumper, the magic.
URL, and you can copy the link and bring that to Framer. So back to my Framer file, I'm going to select the background and I'm going to insert embed. And here I'm going to select embed. Then using this element, I can enter the 3D embed from Spline that I just copied. So when I press enter, it's going to play that 3D background. Now this is the one from the community, but I also customize it using a F. It takes just a few minutes to do it. If you know a bit of Spline and a design code, we actually have 3 courses already made, and so you can follow them to see how to use Spline. So the
Alright, blah 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 blah
for
blah.
Spline.
Okay.
Also, we should make sure that the background is black because we're designing in dark mode. I can also card to be centered across
Uh,
X, which means
okay.
close. And there you have it. This is your bento layout using grid, and it's fully adaptive for mobile, tablet, and desktop. Now, in the next section, we're going to work on the hamburger menu for the mobile experience, and we're also going to add an overlay menu along with the icon animation that comes.
Okay, so this is important because in every, like in Figma, you will create menu differently, probably in Framer, and probably different because I make navigations. Obviously, I just did that in an hour ago. Well, the website one, but in all of these platforms, you do it differently. So let me see what this is about.
With that menu. So I'll see you in the next section.
But let me also speed it up because I'm impatient.
Learn how to build an incredibly sophisticated and how to embed. I will left the embed from spline the stars as I move. Here I'm going same size. So in desktop, I'm going to set a gap of 30. I'm going to keep alignment and create. With for example the phone file and that view. About I liked it, and we're going to do Option Command and K to create a new component. We're going to name this one hamburger and then create. With the component, we're going to change the width to 32 by 32. Then I'll remove the background to make it transparent, and then I'll zoom in at about 800%. Let's create a frame, and the size is going to be 16 by 2. Now I'm going to set the corner radius to 1, and I'll change the color to white. Then I'll duplicate using the Option key with a distance of 5. I'll do it again to the bottom with a distance of 5 as well. Now this is where we're going to set a new variant by selecting the first variant.
Okay.
Zoom out a little bit and click for the second variant. And so between these two, they're going to use the same layers. And then we're going to create a transition, and it's going to animate between 1 and 2. So
Okay.
we'll make sure to turn variant 2 into an X, which means close. So we're going to scroll down to the styles and rotate by 45 degrees. Then make sure to use the alignment to center it. We'll do the same with the third one and set a rotation of minus 45 degrees, and then we'll also center it both horizontally and vertically. For the line in the middle, let's set the opacity to 0% and also set a rotation of 45. Next, we're going to create the interaction and transition. So selecting the first variant, we have this little icon, which looks like a bolt. So I'm going to click on it and drag to variant 2. This is where I can set my interaction, and I'm going to set to tap. Then I'm going to do the same from variant 2 to variant 1 using the tap interaction as well. So here, you can preview the animation between the two using the interaction. So if you do it correctly, you should be able to see a very neat icon animation. Now that we have our hamburger menu icon, we can implement that to the navigation menu. The navigation menu is part of the last UI that we created, and right now it's not a component yet. So with the menu selected, I'm going to do Option Command and K to create a component. Now, with this component, I'm going to create a new variant just for mobile. Now we're going to resize the width of the variant 2 to 390. This is definitely going to break the menu. And what we're going to do is to make sure that we hide the menu and keep the logo. So I'm going to go to Styles and set to Visible No. Likewise, for the buttons, I'm going to use Delete key to hide it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No audio?
Completely. So now I can go to Assets, and this is where I can drag and drop the
How
hamburger
about
menu that I
now?
just created right in my mobile menu. Awesome. Now it's time to create the overlay menu, and it's more simple than you think. So with the hamburger menu selected, we're going to go to the inspector where it says overlay. I'm going to click on it. Now I'm going to take a look at the options, including the position and the alignment. I'm going to set to right and the offset to 20. Here, I wanted to make it clickable so that when I tap on the icon, I'm going to summon it, and when I tap outside or on it again, it's going to dismiss it. One last step is to go to the overlays where it says on open, I'm going to set to variant 2. Now we can preview just this menu. When I tap on the icon, it's going to open the overlay, and when I tap it again, it's going to dismiss it. It also worked when I tap outside. Now we're going to work with the design and the styling. So I'm going to go back to layers, and this is my overlay design. I haven't prepared the design in Figma, but thankfully I have a bunch of designs that are available in FRAMER. So I'm going to take the dark mode version, select the menu icons, and I'm going to drag and drop directly into the menu. So at this point, you might need to realign it again. So I'm going to set it to right align and Y position to 20. At this point, the goal is to set the same menu items as what you had in your navigation menu. So I'm going to set this to product, teams, changelog. Then for the icon, again, I'm going to use feather icon, then drag and drop into my menu item. Let me remove the previous one and then change the size to about 20 by 20. Let me go to the style, including the color to white. Then I'll copy the icon and paste it into the other menu items. I'm going to move it to the left, and I'm going to remove the previous icons.
Cool.
Then I'll change the second icon to globe and the third one to list. Feel free to use what icons works for you. One important skill that you'll learn as a UI designer is to know how to adapt different designs into different styles. So you'll understand what makes it more consistent. You'll keep in mind a lot of the same styles, colors, outline, gap values, and so on. So in this case, we like to use roughly 20 as a gap. And so we'll make sure that the height is set to fit content. Then for the colors, we're going to go to fill and set to white 10%. For the border, we will also set to white 10%. Now we have a style that fits nicely to the dark mode design that we have. I'm also going to change the padding to 20, and I'm going to set the width to 180 to make sure that the text is going to fit, even if it's a little bit longer. Then we're going to deal with the animation. So as you can see from this icon here, this means that we do have an animation, and so we're going to go to effects, and we have an appear animation. Right now, it's only using fade in, and so we're going to customize that. Click on enter, then we'll set the scale adjustment to 0.9. Now, if you want to preview it as we work, we can do so as well. We can set the opacity to 1, and then I'll change the rotate 3D using X20 and then Y minus 20. So it creates this super nice perspective. I will also use a Y position of minus 20. Now, another thing that I want to add is a background blur to my menu. It's going to still be readable.
That's really unnecessary. So unnecessary, but let's continue.
On top of any content. And when you work with background blur, especially with transitions, you want to avoid the spring animation. Instead, we're going to use ease in out. Perfect. Now, I'm going to add a style, and in this case, I don't see the background blur option. So what I'm going to do is to go to the plus sign, and this is where you're going to find extra styling options, including filters, and here we're going to select BG blur. Then I'm going to set a blur of 10. One final thing that I should do is to set back my opacity to 0. One more thing that I forgot to adjust was the dismiss option. It should be set to click. So I'm going to play, and now I have my super nice animation. Now that my menu is done, I'm going to rename my variants so that I don't get confused. First, let me exit, and for variant 2, I'm going to rename this to mobile, variant 1 to desktop. Then I'm going to exit, and then zoom out, find the menu for the phone, and when I select my menu, I'm going to change the variant to mobile. And that's it. I was able to create my hamburger menu with icon animation. Now when I resize and I get to the mobile resolution, I can see that the menu appears and I can tap on it. It has this super nice animation along with the background blur. And I can have the same menu items as when I was in desktop. In the next section, we're going to learn how to create code components so that we can add CSS styles and React code using style components, and we can copy CSS code directly from Figma and apply some really custom styles to Framer. So I'll see you in the next section. In this section,
Okay, I do need to learn that because how do you name it? I'm gonna use a lot of custom code, so let me do that. And
we're going to learn how to make a super simple code component so that we can apply custom CSS code copied from Figma in just a few steps. Looking at the design provided in Figma, you will notice that in Framer, not everything is possible, as we've learned by copying items from Figma. To give you some examples, the outline gradient or the custom hexagon shape with a background blur. Now, code components are there to fill the gap so that we can create really custom components using CSS and React. Because it's a React component, you can essentially put any HTML code as well and use
cool.
frame of motion to animate if you wish to. But in this lesson, we're going to focus on very simple CSS code that you can copy and paste directly from Figma. Now, the first thing we need to do is to copy the customers section, and then we'll try to implement that in Framer. In Framer, let's go ahead and create a new page. We'll name this to customers, and then change the background to black. Then I'll set the same size as in Figma, which is 1440 by 1440. Now let's go to the layers list, and then paste the design from Figma. Here, we just need to make sure that all the absolute positioning within a stack is set appropriately in Framer as well. Let's select the background and set to position absolute with a z index of 0. Then I'll go to content, select the hexagons, and set to positions absolute, and I will center within the frame. Likewise, for the background, I'm going to center. Now that we have the basic layout imported, we're going to fix the rest of the styling later. But for now, let's focus on the hexagon. I'm going to recreate this hexagon. Here you can see that the shape became a graphic. And because it's a graphic, even if I set a background blur, it's going to apply to the entire rectangle, and it's not going to be masked by the hexagon shape, which is essentially what I want. So let's remove this, and let's create a code component. To create a code component, we're going to do Command-Shift-K. It doesn't matter if you have anything selected. We're going to name this component hexagon, and then create. When you do that, it's going to switch to the Assets tab, and it's going to create a new file called hexagon.tsx, which is a TypeScript file. It's like JavaScript, but a little bit stricter. And here you have some sample code. You can play with it. The gray part is a comment, meaning that it's not actual code. It is here to give explanation or instructions. And then you have the component, as well as the style. Most people are familiar with CSS, but this is a different way to write CSS, and it can be a little bit difficult for beginners. Essentially, it's a mix of JavaScript and CSS. And what I recommend to most designers, especially working with Figma, is to use style components, because then we can just copy and paste the raw CSS code. So I'm going to show you how to create a code component from scratch, because I find for beginners, it's a lot easier to understand when you start from the beginning. So if I save this, it's simply going to be empty here. And as you know, we're using React for the component. However, nowadays, we don't need to import React. So we can just focus on importing other libraries. We're going to import, so type import style from style components. Now we're going to create the component. And essentially, we can type function, the name of the component, which is hexagon, parentheses, and curly braces. Then we'll write some CSS code. In this case, we're going to use style components so that we don't have to write that inline CSS, which is very confusing. In order to write raw CSS with style components, we have to declare the actual component. So think of it as creating a div or a container. So const component is equal to style.div backticks, and inside the backticks, we're going to write the CSS. Now let's write some basic CSS properties, such as width, column, 141 px.
So you can do this, but in practical code, you would never do this.
Pixels. Then don't forget the semicolon between each line.
You see the difference between designers and the real ones.
Of properties. Then we'll set a height 148 px and a background of red. If you save this, nothing's going to happen yet, because we need to return the component inside this function. So return open brackets component close brackets, and finally.
So what he basically did is he said, "Hey man, I just want to use plain CSS." So he used a style diff parameter and open up the backticks so he can use them instead of the other way, which is way better. But I get it.
Finally, we need to export this component so that we can use it within the entire project. And in React, we need to do export default before the function. With this done, that's it. This is the basic template for creating your code component. And at this point, you can put any CSS that you want, and you're going to be able to use it in your Framer template. How amazing is that? At this point, you can go to Figma, select the element, and go to dev mode. And here, you can essentially just copy and paste the CSS style. So let's do that for the layout. And I'm going to replace what we have so far and go back to the style and do the same and save. Now we have exactly the same style that we have in Figma. So you can use any CSS code from any element that you have created so far in Figma and bring that to Framer. For the hexagon here though, we're going to use a special CSS technique that allows us to use masking, and it's called clip path. First, let me just fix the indentation. Selecting the code, just press the tab key twice, and then the CSS property that I'm looking for is clip-path, colon, and then path, parentheses, then single quotes. Inside the single quotes, this is where we're actually going to use code from Figma as well. So let's switch to Figma, and you can see that we have SVG code. Most designers nowadays work with SVGs.
So this code tab, what he is using, this is premium. This is not normal. This is not normal. I'm not sure if I have Figma here. Let me see if I'm logged in. Figma. This is a premium version. Oh yeah.
And it's good to know that SVG is simply composed of code. So this is the entire code of that SVG. However, we're just interested in one part of that code, which is the path code. This is what's going to allow us to draw that hexagon shape. So we're going to select this path code, make sure to select from start to the end, right before the fill property, and copy that. Then back to Framer, we're going to paste that code inside the single quotes, and then save. And voila, this is our hexagon shape
Sorry
using
about
a
that.
background blur. And again, you can use any
I
CSS
changed mic
property
because my other mic is empty. That's okay. Basically, what I said, dev mode is premium, and he switched up like, hey man, just 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 pay 144 and you can copy paste. Absolutely not. Like I get why. But we can use ChatGPT. We can just say, I'm using a letter spacing, line height. This can you convert it to CSS? It's not a big deal. 144 a year. Absolutely insane.
that is not available in Framer, such as different filters, and in this case, clip path is simply not available. Now we just need to bring that component to our Framer design. Let's go to the layers, and then we're going to select the first hexagon. And opening this frame,
Like I'm only paying for something if it increases my productivity by tenfold, such as using Cursor AI or Bold New, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically they generate code, then yes. But for this, copy paste, absolutely not.
I'm going to focus on the shape here. So I'm going to bring my code component by using quick action, so Command K, and I can search for hexagon. Then you'll see hexagon.tsx. You can just click on it, insert. And there you have it. This is our hexagon using a background blur with a clip path that is masking that. That's pretty awesome. So let me put that above the background, and let's center it using the alignment tool to make sure that it's right on top of the other one. Now we could have used a custom CSS for the outline stroke, but we didn't have to because we can just use the existing graphic for that border. And because of that, we can decide to put above or underneath the graphic. I'm going to put it underneath.
Okay.
Before we go,
Now we know how the code works. We're gonna continue because he's gonna give me brain damage. Here, look, he is going into code.
actually saving that color so that next time
Let me see what he is writing. That's interesting. Let me. Okay, so basically what he's doing here, he is using Framer Framer components, and he says export a function, and this is the name of the function which has a component. And because this is called with rotate, which is a specific function from Framer, he can just be like, hey man, I'm just gonna use animate 30 transition to, and it responds to Framer. But if you would do this just in regular code, what I just did an hour ago, NEXTJS would just like the framework that I'm using just will laugh at me. They'll be like, "Sir, we don't know this part." And obviously he's using a type here, so he doesn't make any mistakes. Absolutely insane.
component type, which we need for code override. Store allows you to save states for your component, and this is useful, for example, if you create a login, if you want to have some information to be persistent. Random colors is from their library, which allows you to randomize a color. Now, for many of you, you might not even use this in the future, but I think it's good to know that it's possible. So let's take a look at the store. This simply means that when we are using the random color, it's actually saving that color so that next time it's going to remember it. Let's give it a test. I'm going to go back to button. I'm going to change to activity on Framer as well, which means that when you see these custom properties on those components, then it's just the way Framer motion is
now
used
you
to
see
animate.
it, right? He is using Framer motion. So Framer motion, I'm gonna show you. Framer motion. So he's using a library, and you can just import this, and then it's just gonna do it. That's okay. You can import it like that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I haven't updated this since 2 years ago. Okay. Alright, let's continue.
So for the code override called with rotate, it's animating using a rotation of 90 degrees, and the transition, fairly similar
Oh, I wish programming was this easy without a library, but it's not.
to CSS, has a duration of 2 seconds. But then we have with hover, which is the one that we're using. It's using, again, Framer motion with a scale of 1.05. Now this is where, as a designer, you will want to customize these values and then experiment with it.
Yeah.
I'll show you from React. Now again, all of this code is available in the documentation. Let's go to text content. As you can see, we're importing the component type, which we did, and then we export the name of the code override, which usually starts with. Then we're receiving the component itself, including its props, and this is of type component type.
Yeah.
Usually, as you remember, one of the buttons. So, for example, the Visa is going to set mouse enter to go to variant 2, and X is going to variant 3. Then for variant 4, change the background to black. With this, I'm going to paste my design, and then I'll go into layers, italic, but also you can add links as well as text styles and image, video. Usually it's going to go to everything all at once. Now let's select the layout because we're going to change this to a grid layout, and now we're ready to create the CMS collection. Again, this part can be an image, but in this case, because it's a vector and it has its own layers, I want to make it into a component. So as a field, it's going to be a variant. Now let's go and create the CMS collection. Let's go to CMS, and then we'll click on the plus sign to create a changelog collection. Next, we're going to edit the fields. So by default, we have the title, the slug, which is for the URL, because when we tap on an item, usually it's going to go to its own page, and that page will have a URL. So the slug is essentially a URL-friendly version of that post. Then we have a content, and usually you're going to have the text version as well as the rich text version, which can include links.
So if you don't know what this means, I'm gonna explain that. A slug basically means it dynamically creates something for you. So if you create a blog, so that will be slug number one. And if you create another blog, that will be slug number two. And then you can have a title and a content. But if you click inside of the slug, then you can add more content, which is when you open a blog, then you get the whole text and those kinds of stuff.
Images, and even styling. So let's create another one, which is a plain text called text. And finally, we're going to create one for image. But in this case, I'm going to choose option because that's going to allow me to use a component variant. Let's select option and change the name to variant, and then add variant 1, variant 2, and then 3, and then 4. And that's basically it. Once the fields are set up, create a new item. And this is where feel free to use your own content. In my case, I'm simply going to copy from the Figma design, starting with the title, and then you can see that the slug is created automatically and it's URL friendly. For the text, I'm going to use a simple text, and
That's good. So your title is the same as the slug, um, but I think you can change that if you want to. But this is good because we're gonna make our own blog soon, so it's an important part for me to see.
I'm also going to paste for the content. Now, in the content, I have the option to use the rich text format, which includes styling such as bold, italic, but also you can add links as well as text styles and image, video, and code. So for each one, I'm going to select variant 1 and then 2, 3, 4. Once you're done, you can just save it. And now I'm going to create the other ones. And that's it once it's created.
Wow. I wish I was as fast.
You're going to have 4 posts, and the variant is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to transform that into an actual component variant. All right, now we can exit the CMS and apply that to our layout. So I'm going to go to changelog, and the collection is going to be on the same level as the layout wrapper. So I'm going to insert from the collection list and click on it. I can just move this to the changelog right after layout. So for now, it's simply going to use some default styling, and then I have the items themselves, which is definitely going to be difficult to recreate all the styling. So I'm simply going to copy the card and select post, then Command-Shift-V to paste it. Next, we're going to select the collection list, and then we're going to fix the layout, setting it to the same grid, changing the gap to 20, and set the width to fill. So we have pretty much the same style, except that all of the post items have the same content. This is where we need to make it dynamic. Now let's focus on the first item, and then double click until you get to the title. This is where we're going to apply to the content. When you have a plus, that means that you can apply the variable that is already set by the CMS collection. In this case, I'm simply going to select title, then go to description, again content, set it to text. At this point, I'm going to select the card graphic and then create a frame and put the other graphics inside it. But first, I should create a container frame. So Command Enter, then Command Shift K to create a component and name it card graphic. Enter. Here I'm going to create more variants, but first I'm going to set my graphics. So let me go back and copy them one by one. Make sure to copy the entire container for each ones. And then center. And there you go. I'm going to select the other 3 and Command semicolon to hide them. Then I'll select the variant 1 to create 3 more variants. For the second one, I'm going to hide the first and show the second, and do the same for the third and the fourth. And that's it. Now we can go back to changelog. We're going to focus on the collection, and then go to the inspector where it says card graphic. On the variant, I'm going to set the variable and select variant convert. So here I can set my conditions when variant 1 set 1 and have a fallback. I'm going to set more for 2, 3, and 4. So 2, 3, and then 4. Now you might have noticed that the order is set to the latest first. So what we're going to do is go to the collection list, and this is where I'm going to set, and this is where I can change the sorting to reverse. Furthermore, it's good to know that you can set a filter so that you can match using conditions such as if you want a title to be equal to start with or contain any of the value that you set, then it's only going to show those CMS items. But in this case, I don't need it.
So that can be pretty overwhelming for anyone, like that that many options. But he makes it way more difficult than it seems. Basically, it just means that he just sorting all of the stuff, and if he wants to add another one, he can just add a plus sign and then change two or three variables, and then he has another block content or another section. So that is what he's preparing for. He's doing very difficult stuff for nothing.
So I'm gonna remove it. So at this point, we would like to be able to click on each of these items and go to a detail page. And that is one of the great advantages of using CMS. So to do
So this is important. This is where the slug comes in. When he clicks on something, he's gonna create a slug, and that is going to get to a separate page.
that, I'm gonna go to pages. I'm going to click on the plus and then new CMS page, changelog, detail page. Now you can see that it's going to create the collection detail page inside my changelog page, and it has the content populated. Now let me set it to dark mode, so the fill to black, and also I don't need the text version, so I can delete that. And this is the content version, as you can see in the inspector. Now I'm going to insert my component called card graphic, tap on it, and then insert. So let me use the keyboard arrow up to move it to the top. For the title and description, it's already using the heading 1 as well as the body styles that I said earlier. I'm going to set the breakpoints for tablet as well as phone, and you can see it's automatically using the text style breakpoints. I will also change the card graphic to use the variant, so set the variable variant and then convert. And again, I have to set the same condition for 2, 3, and 4. So 2, 3, and then 4. Let's make sure that the width of the card is set to fill. Now, since this is being cut off, it means that in the component, the container, which is the variant 1, has an overflow that is hidden, so I'm going to set it to visible. Let me go back, and that should fix our issue. Great. Now let's go to pages, and then go back to changelog. Then go to layers, and for the card, this is where I want to change the link and go to the changelog slug. So this is a direct URL that is going to take the item slug, which, if you remember,
So there was a bit of a sidetrack, but basically he made a specific detail page, how the page is gonna look like. So let me draw that out for you because else it will be way too difficult to understand. So this is what he's doing. So I'm gonna, if he clicks on this button, in this component, what he wants to happen, he wants to get into this page. So click here and you will get into this page. But because we have four of them, right? He has four of these components. He's going to create his link here, and this link is a slug. So a slug, and the slug is that is this detail page, but if he clicks here, it will change to this detail page. So every time when you click on another page, there's going to be a different page. So this is the initial setup, how the page is going to look like, but not in the fine details. So if he would click on this one, then it's gonna be like this one, but with these components. That is what he is basically is doing. So we can use this. We use this in what I did just as well on the server side. So when we were programming, we can do that, but we do that only if we decided to start a blog or if we decide to do some back-end stuff. But obviously, most of the time I do front-end stuff. So if you don't know the difference between front-end is basically what you see, the back-end is the logic.
one of the great advantages of using CMS. So to do that, I'm going to go to pages. I'm going to click on the plus and then new CMS page, changelog, detail page. Now you can see that it's going to create the collection. One of the great, it's already using the, it means that in the composite,
So
if you want a
basically,
title to be equal, to start with, or contain.
The detail page is how the slug is going to look like.
And go to the changelog slug. So this is a direct URL that is going to take the item slug, which, if you remember, it's a dynamic value that formats the title and make it URL friendly. As a result, when you play this and you go to the collection, you click on it, it's going to go to the detail page.
You see?
Great. At this point, I'm gonna delete the previous one, which is the layout, and just keep my CMS collection. Let's deal with the adaptive layout, starting with the breakpoint. So let's create the tablet version as well as the phone version. I'm going to start by going to the changelog column.
Alright.
And then for the heading, so that you can search across your data from CMS, you can choose that data and also navigate to it. Now, this is a simple search that is customizable.
What is this?
And they can edit it without having to play with the design elements. And this page is also fully responsive, and you can go to the detail page, and the data is completely dynamic. So I hope you found this useful.
So when he clicked on this, you saw this page. Well, if he clicks on this, you will see these ones. And so that's basically what he's saying.
The next and final section, we're going to add a search, and we're going to add a navigation to all the links, and then we're going to do all the final details on the layouts. So I'll see you in the next section.
Alright.
Welcome to the final section of this FRAMER course. Today we're going to learn how to implement a simple search functionality that's already built in so that you can search across your data from CMS. You can choose that data and also navigate to it. Now, this is a simple search that is customizable. Also, we're going to implement the footer, and we're going to finalize the layout across the entire site, including setting the navigation for every single page and having a footer and header consistently across the entire site. So let's get started.
Okay, so that's unnecessary. I think we are basically finished. That is what it's saying. So now, what we're going to do is we have to create our own blog. And I'm not sure how that's gonna look like. So we need to think about that. Let's mm, let's just do a quick search and see what's going on. So let's go to Dribble, which is not the recommended site, but to go. But let's look for a blog. Let's see how it looks. So we can create these kinds of layouts, right? Let's see what this is about. He only has one page. Okay. Do you have more pages? Okay. Sure. You can create something like this, right? Well, we have to think about it. I'm gonna think about it. Um, I don't know, somewhere next week, because we need to first finish the Next.js one, and then we're gonna create a blog. So this is not bad. I don't. This is not necessarily what I'm looking for. What this is about. The thing is, they're bloggy, but they're not like I'm gonna have use case, right? So use case. Let me see if you see an I don't see it here, so let's actually go to a site which is Godly Websites. Okay. And then let's go to portfolios. Like they look all cool, but I'm not looking for cool. Most of them look messy actually. Guys, these are not portfolios. Oh, maybe this one. Let me see. Volkert Gorter. He's a Dutch guy. Well, what is this? No one wants to read this. What? What do you mean the text? Maybe this one. Let me go to what is the link? Is there no link? It's just an image? Really? Like I have nothing against making all these animations, but maybe later. Like these are mic ma macro animations. I like micro animations. So well apparently this is a problem. Let's let's see if we can maybe ship faster. No, faster UI. Designership. Let's go into designership and ship.com. Oh, okay, this is his website, but I'm looking for the creator, Michael Warren. Maybe he has a Michael Warren Singer UI. I actually have his course, so we're gonna follow that soon. But let's do a case study, and let's do Ship Faster UI. Coming soon. Coming soon. Brother, what do you mean coming soon? Uh, uh, let's go. I'm pretty sure he has a different portfolio. I'm gonna not do it too long. About miscode.net. Okay, so he is. Why are your case studies not working? Let's go into awards. Awards. Let me see if I can find a. com. It's hard to find the real one, right? How about this one? All right. So explore, and then by category, let's do design agencies, and then let's take a not too fancy one. Look how long it takes to find something. It's incredible. Okay, this ooh, he needs to do some fixing. I get it. Is this made from scratch? Framer? Yeah, absolutely created in Framer. I thought so. uh, okay, doesn't matter. Let's go to projects. This is not good. Maybe this one. Don't disappoint me. I'm gonna close everything. Let me see. Digital design partner for change makers. What does that mean? So, I don't know what that means. Let's just click something. Instagram. What do you mean Instagram? I told myself that I'm not gonna click behind this, but I'm gonna click once more. I'm gonna give it one more shot. One more. Alright. Why is this? Why? Product designer with over 10 years of experience. Okay. What just happened there? I don't have patience for this. I help companies grow by delivering. So, what you should have been doing is change these ones because if you're gonna be like, oh, just click, what is this? Well, he's a product designer, so it's something else, right? I help companies by delivering value to their users and customers. Generic. I create product strategies. Generic. Conduct research. Design innovative solutions and lead teams through the product development process. Okay. Over the years, I built numerous of projects that are used by some of the world's leading companies. The projects I've built by my teams are different companies you have helped and achieve. From reaching. Okay, but show me the work. Oh, okay, outcomes. Grew a subscription-based platform now we're using. I worked on motion. Okay, okay. Now we get into the specifics. Help the company grow. Okay. Well, let's show me the work. Does it open a website or no? It does not. Right. All right. So this is what he does right. Well, not in a sense of content, but in a sense of layout. A team creating opportunities for freelance platform, many platform only, services, deliverables, team involved. I think some of this stuff he mm, he could do the introduction first and then be like I get this because in books he do the same, but I want to know what's about. Enjoy the 18 members on your network, have freelance, trying to work in the tech space. Now getting a job is not easy for most people, it's stressful. If you're looking for freelance work, so the problem with carousels is that you cannot see them all in one glance, which is not a huge issue. But you know, I did not know this was user feedback, so that is a problem. So if I come here and it says user feedback and it starts, yes, this is made with Framer, another Framer website. Okay, and these are components that I've never seen before, and there's no, yeah, these are components. Okay, okay, what? Oh, okay. It uses AI to instead of using this text, using this text. Okay. What what does this mean? I don't know what that means. I All right. So he talks about a team. Let's check out the website. So what I'm doing basically, I am looking for. Um, Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna. It looked different on his page. Uh, or is it just me? Oh, this is on when you're logged in. Yeah, it looks different, right? So there's inconsistency when it comes to design pattern. That's okay though. Like I'm not asking things to be perfect. The problem with this like this is a product designer website, so I'm not expecting a great deal. But if you're 10 years in and you do this, right? I did not know that it was user feedback. Like here, it kind of shows, oh, it's a carousel, and I'm gonna expect the next, so I might wait. This is called illusion of control. So let's step back. Illusion of control basically means if you're gonna walk the pedestrian, like when you have a traffic light, you can press this button and then you intend to wait longer until the traffic stops and the light goes green. That's basically what this is. So I am inclined to wait here, but not inclined to wait here. Okay. So this is what we need to focus on. If we're going to create a block, we need to create not exactly like this, but something like this. Like how things came to be. So yeah. Okay. Now we saw it a bit. I would not have done this here. I would, if you open any book, let's go to Amazon. Amazon book. Sure. I just want to have any book, and I want to, yeah, I want to have zoom in, but what I want to have is look inside. So let's think of a famous book, The One Thing. Everyone likes the one thing. One thing. And I want to read the sample. One, two, three. Okay. Okay. Let me ask Chat Gibberish. Give me a second. So I'm gonna ask Gibberish. So I'm gonna ask, hey, in a book, would would the content list comes first or the introduction? Table of content comes first. Okay, so he did do that right, but I don't know why it does not make sense for my head. Oh well. Alright. So it is 11 a.m. I think we did a lot of stuff. So we're gonna close some stuff down, and I think that is enough for the stream. Later on we're gonna do some language practice, and we need to buy a domain for my portfolio. And what we also need to do is think about this blog and how I'm gonna iterate that. So maybe I will do that next stream, but maybe not. We'll see about that. Let's keep it for the next stream. Let me write that down. Next stream. Today is 10. So NEXTJS, we did the hero, we had fit the hero and all components. We have an image problem, and we finished FRAMER. FRAMER finished tutorial, and now we need to work on the block. So we're missing a part here. So where's this part? not copy link to block. I just want to copy. Okay, copy. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do framer figure out design block and user cases. So we're gonna put this in a yellow. So how do you do that? You will press the Win key and the dot. So Win key dot, then you can open up the emoji tab. In in Notion, there's also a special tab for this. I'm not sure what it is. Let me check for. I think I need to type some text. So and not ask AI. Let me see how they do that. Well, I cannot figure it out. Who cares? Okay, so figure out design block and user cases on next stream. I will think about it. And we did the bias of today. So the bias of today was volunteers folly. So volunteers folly basically means is that how you volunteer and the reason why you volunteer is important. So economists say if you can volunteer in your expertise and donate the money, that will be way better if you volunteer for something you do not know but get satisfaction of. So there's some part of called pure altruism. A pure altruism is not when you enjoy something necessarily for the sake of volunteering. So if you volunteer but it is already something you expertise in and you just do it because you want to donate, uh, something or volunteer for something, then it's called pure altruism. Else, it's just called um, yeah, selfish. That's weird to say, but yeah. All right. So there's that. We need to buy a link. We'll buy a domain, and what we do buy a domain. We do have backup. So tomorrow there's not gonna be a stream, and the reason why there's no gonna be no stream is because learning to enjoy the process is different, right? Well, that's a selfish game. That's hard to say, but learning to enjoy the process is not pure altruistic. Pure altruistic is that you do something not for enjoying, not for you do it for someone else. There's no self gain. So, but you can look it up. It's called Volunteers Folly Tendency. I'll show you. Um, Volunteers Folly Tendency. Uh, how about this? Volunteers Folly. Here. So there's a whole section about this. Now you don't have to be perfect in this anything. Or alright. So we did this one. Let me check in with the goals. I forgot to do that. November goals. And we did start this. We did not start this yet. We're gonna do the Korean one. Let's put this off for this week. Let me see. Topic start 7th November. Absolutely not, because we changed this one. So this one is going to be on tomorrow. And so we have until 27 December to do that. So that's gonna be pretty interesting. Work on goals. We did not do that. Yes. We defined one, not two. Drupal, HubSpot. Okay. We're yeah, we're we're on track. Good. Oh, today is Sunday, so it means no phone day. All right, good to know. That is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Douglas, for staying here. Hopefully, you learned something. This. Sometimes I talk really in technical terms, but I try to explain it as simple as possible because of my audience. But if I explain it in technical terms, then people are going to be confused if you don't have technical background. So that's why I explain it like you're five. So, all right, thank you so much, and yeah, I will see you on to the next one. And let me put on the music back. All right.